Hi everyone, my name is Ines Reda. I am a young water professional in Denmark. The following episode is an interview with Peter Alexander Stentoft. He is the first winner of the Danish Water Forum Young Water Professional Annual Award given in 2022. I hope that you enjoy the conversation. Hi Peter, how are you doing?
Hi Ines, I'm doing very fine, thank you.
Yes, well, I heard you were sick.
Yeah, so right now I'm doing fine. Earlier I was quite sick, but now I got some paracetamol and I'm doing better.
Good, good. Well, congratulations for winning the first Young Water Professionals Denmark Award.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's
Yeah,
really
you're
a
most
great
welcome.
honor.
Yeah, no. To be honest, the when the process started, so Danish Water Forum proposed this to young water professionals, and they said, we have encountered a couple of people that we found really inspiring, and we think we should, promote them and give some visibility. And we we knew that we had some sort of special group going on, and we could see that the younger generation of water professionals had so many interesting people, so many people that were in the sector for the right reasons. So we saw perfectly why they wanted to do it. But then when we had to come up with a criteria, and when we had to come up with like a way of people to vote and everything, it got us thinking. So just for the audience to know, the criteria or the selection for the one winning the award is one vision. So the individual has set up goals for the water sector that are beyond him or herself. Initiative. The individual has taken initiative and responsibility to develop new ideas or opening new possibilities and opportunities. And the last one, impact to the sector. The individual has made an impact with his or her work to influence the water sector. So, from these three, Peter, which one do you think that gave you more points? Could you, if you had to choose one?
That's a
Vision,
good.
initiative, impact to water sector. Which one was it?
Uh, yeah, I think in all humbleness, I think actually all of them might have given a few points, but maybe especially sort of the impact, as we are actually now in a state where the ideas that were developed are becoming a product, and it's out there now running on different wastewater treatment plants. So there is yeah, as we're speaking, an impact of the new algorithms.
Perfect.
Um,
Can you tell us the whole process? So first just say the product that we're talking about,
yeah,
because this is really interesting. And then I want to dig a little bit into your career and your development. But for now, the product. What was going on? What happened in your brain?
yeah. Okay, so I'll start with the beginning, and that means that we have to go, yeah, almost 5 years back now.
Okay,
I
wow.
was a young student assistant in Krüger, and I was about to start my master's thesis. And then, yeah, we got this idea in the team. I had some, and I still have some great colleagues there, and we discussed, can we do wastewater treatment, especially the aeration part? Can we do that in a smarter way? We know that we have now a lot of computer force available, and also some fancy new algorithms are being developed all the time. And actually, the control, I should also add this, the control already running in wastewater treatment plants is something that was developed maybe in the 90s or something. So we had this idea that we could develop something new and cool. And so that became really my master thesis project, to try and develop some new data-driven algorithms that can sort of optimize the control of wastewater treatment aeration.
Peter, you're
And
still in the beginning and I already have questions. How the hell
yeah,
were you connected to industry in such stage? Like, what happened? How are you already so well connected with the practical world?
yeah, I think I was a student assistant at Krüger. I got the job. Yeah, I think sort of by luck. They were developing this software for wastewater treatment plants, and I sort of applied for it, and I already had quite a
But
few
this is
courses
something
in
very
programming, and
special. But this is very special here in Denmark, right? Because so what happens is that so you are studying. So for other
yeah.
people that are not from Denmark to understand, so you are studying, and while you're studying, you are asked to do some sort of internship,
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah.
right, at a private in the private sector, or it can be in a utility, I don't know. So in some
Yeah.
sort of employment situation, and there you somehow try to apply your theory, and you try to gain some perspective of what the sector actually is, how it works,
Hmm.
and then you finish your studies back, right? But this is
Yes.
a standard method or a standard pathway in the Danish education system.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay,
Yes.
wow.
I was studying and working 10 hours a week while I was studying in this company.
Right. And this connection is really an enabler for innovation, right?
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Because I, of course, had some good connections at the university because I was still studying there, and they had some good ideas from industry, and this was sort of the synergy happening that we talked together and got some ideas.
Okay, so then you did that, the internship, you had some couple of ideas. You came with a theoretical idea to the master thesis, or how was it?
Yeah, it was sort of a theoretical idea. I had you can say a feeling that we could do something. I was not 100% sure it would work. Actually, I was a bit surprised that it worked so well. But yeah, I proposed that we could do it as a master thesis because that would also be for free for the company, and I could spend a lot of time on trying things out, and they would only need to supervise a bit. And then we tried it, and it
Yeah.
seemed promising.
At what point was did you actually do a business case?
Um, I believe that would be sort of by the end of the master thesis, or you can say we discussed it uh, continuously, but when it began to seem like it that there was really something into this, then we discussed this could become a business case, and that's also what led to the next step, which was then an industrial PhD where I could work some more on it.
Yeah, and how was it like? Or the company in this case okay with you
Mhm.
actually sharing this information? We're talking about pre-product, right? And you are
Mhm.
presenting this in a master thesis that is public, and
Mhm.
you are going to do a PhD, which will have a lot of papers which needs to be published as well. So
Yeah.
how was it for you to navigate that process?
I think most of the time it was actually quite smooth, and there was I remember one episode, and no, I only remember this because that was actually one of the few episodes where it wasn't that smooth. But there was one episode where we discovered something, and where all of a sudden we started to discuss if this should be patented or if we should publish, and these are two things sort of going in different directions, you can say, in terms of at least openness. And and that sort of did slow down the whole PhD process to some extent, because then I couldn't really write that much about it, because if we should patent it, then I should of course not publish anything at all, and then we should write in a whole different language, and so on. But that it actually it in the end it all it actually all it all went uh, quite okay, in terms of we discussed it, and we found out that we couldn't really patent it, and it was only a matter of, I don't know, half a month or a month or something, and then we continued, and then we actually later on but that was after I finished the PhD. We tried to take another patent on something different, but that was after the PhD, so it didn't really conflict with the study.
No, but it's a real thing, right? And that's why I think I mentioned I was curious because
Mhm.
I the industry has here a role that it can fall into a place that is a bit challenging because in one way it's great that they have the open doors for the younger generation. I think that is clearly a way to be able to capture youth also in their business, which I think is great. Second, they have the possibility of integration of new knowledge within their old structures, because we are talking about companies. Usually the ones accumulating this type of students would be companies with years and decades of work in the sector, and therefore very much structured in its in their organization. Uh, but then it comes to a point that something actually is working. So, but it's almost like, um, it's so good. It's like, oh, it's negative because we have to now this conflict of information, but this is what we wanted, right? We wanted also to come up. So it's a good problem, let's say, to have. And I think as a PhD student, I think that the exercise there would be to remember why you are doing it. And I'm sure I only started now to talk to you, but you have been voted based on the vision, initiative, and impact to the sector. So I would believe that your vision for the sector also surpassed the PhD, right? So in your head, it was more important to have a patent on a product that you believed could actually have an effect, even if that delayed the development of the PhD for a while, right? Was that your approach? Was that the way that you found peace during the process, or?
Yeah, true. Yeah, I'm indeed very driven by sort of the vision and the impact in the end, and definitely it was, for me, it was very motivating to know that on the other side of the PhD, or somewhere along the process, this would actually, yeah, impact the sector. At least that was my hope. And then I actually, to me, it didn't matter that much whether I got, I don't know, 2 or 4 publications or whatever. That was not really what motivated me in the PhD.
I'm just really happy to hear that. I had the same feeling. I also did an industrial PhD, but I did it with a water utility. And I had the same feeling. And I have to say that the fact that the company is aware of that, and that in my case also it was kind of opportunistic, they were also very aware of that. It just confirmed that I was somehow made for the industry world rather than for the academic. It kind of
Yeah,
validated that that's where I needed to be somehow. And I've came across several vision well seven people several people that have strong visions about the sector, but then when in the private sector, and then when you're trying to understand what they're doing, it can be challenging to understand what are the intentions. But I think that during a PhD process you become so close to the company and understand so well their agenda that that it just creates a very strong link of trust, and that's very nice. So I'm happy you had that opportunity to experience that in the industry sector, that in the private sector.
yeah. No, and I agree very much with what you said. And just to add, I think it's actually also interesting that you get, as an industrial PhD, these both sides of the sort of development process. As you were still, at least for my case, I was still in the university 2 to 3 days a week, and then I was in Krüger 2 to 3 days a week. So it was sort of a 50-50 share. So you can, and that's something I still use now in my job. This sort of insight into both the academic world, but also the development processes in the company, and that's I think that's quite cool and a good program.
Yes, and it's very special from Denmark, I have to say. So,
Okay.
okay, I
Yeah.
interrupt you, and this completely went around. So you presented your masters. It turned out to be really interesting. You moved to an industrial PhD. Some questions about patent. In the end, you end the PhD. How far is the product by that point?
By the end of the PhD, it's been tested on a few plants, but it's not really a product yet. It's really just some tests that seemed yeah, again, promising, and it seemed like it could run. I should add here that in, at least in this kind of software development, it's really one of the key issues is not just to make it efficient and better than the existing. It's also to make it very robust so that we do not have any problems when it runs, and it need to run, of course, 24/7, yeah, all days a year and so on. So we need to make sure that there are no errors in the code, and that to get to the bottom of that, it's just that's something that takes a lot of time. and
Yo, I
and we had
completely understand. Yes.
yeah, so what we had after the PhD, just to finish, is that we had something that could run, and it seemed to run quite good, but still we didn't have doubt enough in it. I had to sort of survey it every 5 hours or something to make sure that it was still running as it should.
Yes.
to, and
And
to
how,
yeah,
how
yeah,
far
and
is it
now
now?
so now actually, to give an example, we just passed 1 year of running on Snede wastewater treatment plant, where the code has been running since the 23rd of August last year. And for the past I would say half a year or something, I haven't been looking at it. So that's at least I see it as a sign that
Wow.
now it's robust, and we have
Yeah.
faith in it.
Such a nice thing. Yeah, that's great when you have those confirmations also.
Yeah,
Um,
I can
we
also
are
just
already,
add
yeah.
that I was actually sort of forced to it because I've been on paternity leave for the past 5 months. So,
Yes.
but
That's why we have a delayed podcast here episode.
yeah,
Yes.
oh yeah, yeah,
Very good reason for it though. Very good.
yeah, and especially because it turned out so well.
Yes. Well, I just want to because we are already 20 minutes in. Um, Now that you mentioned that you became a dad, then now I can ask so many more things. Um, because we are in a sector that there's no way to look back. We need to look forward, because if we spend time looking back to what could be done better, or the decisions that could have, you know, changed the status of the sector today, then we lose too much time. We really need to look forward. Um, and in Denmark, we have a system that works. We have innovation being generated, um, but there is a global crisis going on at the same time, right? And that's when human connection, and I do think that a lot of people also revisit that during the time that they become parents. But how do you see the role of Denmark um, in responding to this global water crisis?
I see the role of Denmark as us having a great responsibility. We have a lot of technologies, and we are quite developed, I would say, on the water business side. So I think we have a great responsibility in getting these things out, and also, yeah, helping where we can.
Yeah, I've been finding that, that's the intention. And I think that's great. And I think we do have it. I think it's very honest intention. I don't think that Denmark wants to sell just to sell. I do think that they are trying to contribute, right? And
Mm.
or we, because I'm working on this side, and we are trying to come up with these ideas, and it can be very hard for us to sometimes understand how to integrate them in businesses that we don't understand, and maybe we need to do changes and actually do investments on developing new solutions to markets that we don't completely understand, and it requires a lot of like extra effort and investment to actually get there.
Mm.
um, are you involved in, I don't know, in your, if you're in your job you're focused on the Danish market, or if you're also involved in projects in abroad?
I'm also involved in some projects abroad, but so in general, I'm mostly working on developing the code, and then I'm sort of, yeah, presenting at conferences, and trying to get the ideas out more to maybe an academic audience or so. But still, yeah, I'm also working on getting it out to, yeah, to some customers or utilities abroad.
Yeah. So let's make this deal. We see you are going to the Congress, to the IWA Congress. I am going to
Yes,
the
yeah.
Congress. I do know a couple of international young water professionals that work in water utilities.
Hmm.
And what I think that I'll do is that are you going to the young water professionals dinner? That's on
No,
Monday.
I
No?
don't. No, no,
No, but then
I
we'll
didn't hear
find a
that.
lunchtime. I'll give you my
Yeah.
contact information and we'll like phone number, direct phone number, and then we'll try to schedule something that we can, build some contact there and sharing some experience from their side that maybe could have
Hmm.
benefit for then you to integrate on your side. I just feel like this, collaboration and communication needs to happen at the time of development, right? That's the only
Definitely.
opportunity for co-creation. There's no co-creation after the product has been fixed, right? So,
No,
so that
true.
now is the time. Well, last thing before I just turn off, I will just say that I don't know how you feel, but for me, the being nominated for this award, for me, like if it was me, I would be very touched. And, this is something that is, you are nominated for by peers, seniors and young professionals, right? But you're nominated by peers. And that means that what you did was more than a product. What you did was to inspire, to kindly and respectful um, provide your ideas for this to move forward. So for that, I want to say thank you, Peter, because I think
Yeah,
that the sector needs more people like that. And I've been fortunate enough to cross myself with many, but thank you for being at your work able to connect with other people in a way that they recognize you as a person that can lead us and lead the Danish sector forward. So thank you very much for that, Peter.
yeah. Thank you so much, and really thank you again for the award and in first place the nomination. It's I am, to be honest, I am very honored and really still I think it's difficult for me to understand that what I'm working with is that people find that much inspiration from it and yeah and are so yeah inspired by it. But it's truly a great honor.
But you're most welcome. You truly deserved it. Um, I'm always like this, but just one more last thing. There's a workshop that I really think is for you. I just remember that. So on Monday, yeah, at
Yeah.
IWA, Monday, there's a workshop on young entrepreneurs, a way to
Mhm.
bring research closer to practice through entrepreneurship. And actually, we have, I don't know if you know him, but we have a guy that does models that will present his business there. Let me just check here so I give the right information. Um, Here, yeah, CEO and co-founder of AM Team. I'll send you the link. But he is Wim Oudenaert. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly.
One
Um,
more time.
Wim Oudenaert.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I think yeah, I know him at least by
You know
name.
him? Yes?
Yeah,
Okay, so he will be there here giving a presentation at this workshop, and then he will be also in the plenary because we're
yeah.
trying to create a group within IWA that focus on how to support entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs, both for
Okay,
private
cool.
sector and for WASH response.
Yeah.
And I think this one would be great for you. It's on Monday, the first day at 10:30. Just so you know,
Okay,
I just
cool.
thought
Yeah.
that it was, from your profile, I kind of feel like this is something that would fit you.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds so. I will have a look at it.
Perfect. Great. Peter, really nice conversation. I wish I could talk to you like for hours.
Yeah, you
So
too.
yeah, so we'll talk later and I'll see you in Copenhagen.
Yeah,
Yes,
that sounds like a plan.
perfect.
Yeah. See you at the conference.
See you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. I will just stop recording because oh, I did. You just went away.